Hi everyone, this is Andrea from My World by Andrea, and I'm being graced this evening with one of the authors who is attending the book signing in Tampa, Florida. Her name is Lannie Sheridan, and she has graciously agreed to come and interview with me so I can find out what is happening in her world. We're going to find out why she's here. We're going to find out if she has any new books that may be coming out. We're also going to find out where you can follow her on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever she's at. We're going to find out if she has any additional book signings this year, any new books coming out, just anything and everything her. And we're going to start by welcoming you here. Thank you for agreeing to do an interview with me. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
And I heard that there was a little bit of a story that is going along with how you arrived in your first series. And if you don't notice her, she has blue hair, which is a really gorgeous color blue. And we were just commenting on the blue on her eyes. So she has a story that goes with the reason why she has the color blue. And she's going to explain this to her, and it ties into her first series. So I'm going to let you go ahead and talk and explain to our viewers how you arrived at your signature color.
Well, first off, blue is my favorite color, so that plays the biggest part into it. But the main character of my first series, Princess Amarilla, has blue hair. She is the Princess of Mercury. And my business name is actually Under the Blue Roses, which I got from, again, the first book. Her older brother, Amdis, used to always bring her blue roses. In fact, he had brought her so many, she has her own rose garden at the palace. And anytime she got in trouble, she was upset, or just wanted to get away, you could always find her hiding under the rose bush. So I took that for Under the Blue Roses. That was Rilla's safe place, and it represents writing being my safe place, my safe haven.
Nice. Okay. Usually, people who choose to color their hair, they just choose to color it. But that's neat, and that's different, that there is a reason and a story that goes behind what you've chosen as your signature color. That's really interesting. And you're here this weekend for the book signing.
Mm-hmm.
And so what did you bring with you that you're promoting this weekend?
Well, I only have 2 books published at the moment, so
Okay.
I'm still fairly new to being a published writer. My second book, Dancing with Shadows, has only been out for not even a year. It was released in August of last year, so I'm mainly pushing that one, but as it is a sequel to my first book, it's kind of pointless not to bring the first one because not everyone's read it.
Okay.
So I'm pretty much promoting both of them and just trying to get my name out this weekend.
Okay, and what genre do you write?
Mainly sci-fi fantasy, but I do have a few stories that I've jotted notes down and started writing for. I've got a mystery series. I've got one about a time traveler. I've got a complete fantasy series mapped out that's going to follow a hunter who's hunting mythical creatures, including fae, werewolves, vampires.
All hot subjects right now.
Yeah.
So you're smart going in that direction. That's great. So you're not afraid to try different genres.
No.
Which you're not pinholing yourself into one. So you're going to give your fans, and hopefully new fans, since you're doing the interview on My World by Andrea, that they can find you in all different aspects of the writing world. That's great. And while you're here, are there any new books coming out? I know you had made mention of other books that you're wanting to write. Could possibly anything happen by the end of the year in any of those?
Probably not by the end of the year, because I am doing a major move this year.
Okay.
I'm moving from Florida back home to Virginia. So most of my time is being taken up with the packing and moving and taking care of that arrangements. But I am currently working on the 3rd and final book of the first series, which will be When Shadows Fall. I'm hoping to at least have a finished copy to my editor by mid next year.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Depending on how badly she rips that one apart on me.
Aren't editors fun?
Luckily, she's my best friend.
Oh, okay. All right. So maybe she sugarcoats it a little bit, maybe?
Not really, but she does put amusing comments in the sideline. She actually has a character in my book series, Lady Epsilon.
Okay.
So she will write comments in character.
Gotcha. Okay. And then, as always, we have people that want to follow you or stalk you, as they say. Where can they find you? On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, if you have, or anything else? And I know MeWe is the new thing right now that's going on. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Facebook, it's going to be When Shadows Fall is the name of the page as far as the address. But if you search for Under the Blue Roses, the page should come up. I also have a profile on there as Lannie Sheridan. You can find me on Instagram, Lannie Sheridan. I believe it's 22 for that one. And Twitter, some of them have 22 at the end, some don't. It just depends on what was available when I went to sign up.
But they can look for your name, and it should pop up then.
If you see a picture of me or, my main character who has blue hair, then it'll be quite obvious it's me.
So there's plenty of places you can go and follow her, and I'm sure on Amazon as well.
Yes.
You can follow her on her main page there, and then by doing that, you'll be able to see immediately when something new comes out that she has. When did you start writing?
Before I could even write.
Okay, as a young child.
My mom used to write them down for me. I made stories up for my grandfather.
Okay, interesting. And of course, she was very attentive to that. Well, that's neat. And so it just developed through the years. Okay, and then at what point did you decide I need to write a book, or I can write a book, and I'm going to do it?
I was actually probably about the time that I was in college. I started honestly trying to write my first book.
Okay.
Which actually was a spy novel that is still sitting on the back burner. I got about halfway through and just kind of lost motivation on it. And then I got this idea for the story with Princess Amarilla, which actually is based on a bunch of recurring dreams that I had.
Okay.
And
interesting.
That one just kind of took off, and it's gone from a simple story that was supposed to be one book to now a trilogy. And people trying to talk me into a possible fourth book later. But if I do the fourth book, it will be a standalone that ties into the rest of the series, but not something that you necessarily need to have the other three for.
Gotcha. Okay. I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. It's a little crazy this evening. We're sitting in an area down in the main area of the hotel, and I usually do my interviews in certain areas at different hotels and that, because I want the people, the viewers who are going to be watching this, to see that it's not a sterile environment, that there is craziness going on, and it's relatively quiet tonight. Tomorrow will probably be more crazier, but I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come and meet with me. Is there anything else that could be happening that's going on that you may want to mention that I didn't cover?
The only other thing, which actually is where I've gotten a good portion of my fan base, I am also a fan fiction writer.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people have read my fan fiction on either Archive of Her Own or fanfiction.net, and that has led them to my book series because they like my writing style.
Okay.
Now, I don't go into as much detail and get as, perfectionist with that as I do with my books, because that's stress relief for me.
Okay. So if you're interested in that type of thing, because I think you're probably the first author that I've had that has been in that area, and if that's something that interests you, make sure you check her out and see what's going on in her world. And like I said, I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule, and good luck in the book signing this weekend. Hope you sell a lot of books and have a lot of fans that come by, and hopefully by making this interview you'll have a new fans that are coming in and wanting to follow you and see what's going on. So we're going to call it a night, and I appreciate everyone watching. This is Andrea from My World from Tampa, Florida, All of you have a good evening.